Hi guys, I honestly can't keep up with the hamster that's running in the wheel where Donald Trump's brain should be. First of all, he said that he would impose massive tariffs on Europe. Then he slapped the entire world with them. Then he backtracked. Then a few days ago, he declared that on the 1st of June this year, imports from the EU would face a 50% tariff. Now, I'm not sure if I missed any steps there. Well, when he was asked about this massive hike on imports from Europe, Trump seemed to be saying that it won't go ahead, and for a pretty bizarre reason.
You are a deal maker, deal breaker. What are you hoping to achieve with a 50% tariffs on the?
Well, I think this is there is no tariff, because what they'll do is they'll send their companies into the U.S. and build their plant.
Sorry, there is no tariff. You just said a few days ago that you're going to put a 50% tariff on imports from the EU from the 1st of June. And now you're saying, no, there isn't a tariff. Well, which is it? There is a tariff or there isn't a tariff? Now, his argumentation is, well, there isn't going to be a tariff because they're going to bring all their manufacturing to the US. What manufacturing? Is he still talking about BMW and Mercedes moving their manufacturing to the US? Is he still talking about Apple? Although it's not the case when it comes to Europe. But there's certain products that can't be made in the US. For example, not part of the EU, but Scottish whiskey can't be made in the US because then it's not Scottish whiskey. Parmesan cheese, champagne, these are things that can't be made in the US because if they're copied, they're no longer originals. What is he doing? Does he actually know what he's doing?
We have, I guess, over $12 trillion practically committed. You look at other presidents, they haven't had $1 trillion for a year, for 2 years, for 3 years.
Sorry, who's committing $12 trillion? Honestly, who is he talking about here? What figures is he plucking from his backside? It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think it makes any sense to anyone. And there's no adult in the room to step in and say, sorry, Mr. President, you're talking absolute tripe here.
We have numbers. Nobody's ever seen numbers like we have. And if they build their plant here, then they have no tariff at all.
Are you looking for a deal?
Okay, so if they move the operation to the US, there's no tariff. Well, obviously there's no tariff because the trade is taking place within the US. But we know that they can't move their operations to the US for two simple reasons. One is it's extremely expensive and it takes years to build a factory if we're talking about cars. And second is we don't know what Donald Trump is going to do tomorrow. Not we don't know what he's going to do next year. We don't know, literally, we don't know what he's going to do when it comes to tariffs tomorrow. Because a few days ago he said there was a 50% tariff on the EU. A few days before that, there was no mention of a 50% tariff. Now it's there. Now it seems to have disappeared. So why would anyone consider moving their operations to the US when they have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow? Never mind 5 or 10 years down the road when we're talking about a factory. It takes a long time to build a factory.
Deal in 9 days. Will you be able to do that, sir?
I'm not looking for a deal. I mean, we've set the deal. It's at 50%. But again, there is no tariff.
Okay, so then what was the point of this? So it seems to be the case that Trump isn't engaging with the European Union because the European Union is not engaging with him. Now, why would the European Union engage with Donald Trump? Because he's completely unreliable. What's the point in signing a deal with him when he's going to go back on it? What's the point in pandering to Donald Trump when there's no guarantee that he would respect whatever he agreed to? Like he's saying one day I'm going to impose tariffs and the next day I'm going to remove them.
If they build their plant here. Now, if somebody comes in and wants to build a plant here, I can talk to them about a little bit of a delay. But, while they're building their plant, which is something I think that would be appropriate, maybe we'll determine that.
Sir?
If there was a market for the products and it was cheaper to build it in the US, they would already be doing that. It's cheaper in many cases just to ship to the US. Now, Donald Trump, I don't know if he actually believes that this threat of a tariff is actually going to see manufacturing move. Because it wouldn't even benefit him. Because if we're talking about 4 or 5 years for a factory to be built in the US to start selling cars or whatever that are produced there. And remember, if there are still tariffs on the other side, so these companies wouldn't really be able to sell their cars back to other countries because those other countries have tariffs imposed on the US. So it would be an US only market for these cars or whatever we're talking about. But once again, it takes years to build a frigging factory. So Donald Trump will be out of office before these factories are actually built. And that's assuming that he doesn't cling on to power like some sort of dictator. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.